Sacred Heart High School, Nalasopara West. English Kumar Bharti, Standard 10th, 1.4 All the World's a Stage. William Shakespeare, born in 1564 to 1616. About the author. William Shakespeare was an English poet, a playwright, and actor, widely regarded as the greatest writer in English language and the world's greatest dramatist. He is often called England's national poet and the Bard of Avon. About the poem. World as a stage. The comparison of the world to a stage and people to actors long predated Shakespeare. Juvenal, the ancient Roman poet, wrote one of the earliest versions of this line in his satire, All of Greece is a stage, and every Greek's an actor. This poem is based on this satire, All of Greece is a stage, and every Greek's an actor. So, let's begin with the poem. The words All the World's a Stage are actually taken from William Shakespeare play As You Like It. With these words begins the monologue, a loud speech to oneself by a character in act of the play. Shakespeare has been a great playwright and poet of his era. His views, life, realistically. Shakespeare is known for the realism of his writings and is amongst the most quotable authors in the world. This poem is a metaphorical poem about life. Here Shakespeare tries to explain that we as a humans have 7 stages to play. And stage here is referred to world. Let's begin the poem. All the world's a stage, and all men and women merely players. They have their exit and their entrances, and one man in his lifetime plays many parts, his act being 7 ages. The poem's theme is that man is the ultimate loser in the game of life. He says all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely are players. Every player has 7 roles during his lifetime. Here, as I said world is indirectly compared to a stage, and we are all players. We are indirectly compared to players. We have our exit. Here, exit means death, and entrance means life. We come to this stage, we enter to this stage in the form of life, and we have 7 roles to play. Once we finish with our 7 roles, we exit, that is, we die. So let's know the 7 ages or 7 stages by William Shakespeare. So the first stage, at first the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arm. The first stage is a stage of an infant, the newborn. The newborn here mews and puke in the nurse's arms. Here, mewling means crying and puking means vomiting. He only knows to mew and puke when nurses or even his mother holds him. Then comes the next stage. The next stage is the stage of a schoolboy. The whining schoolboy, the crying schoolboy with his satchel. Here, satchel means bag. And shining morning face. Though he has a shining morning bright face, but he cries to go to school. He is unwillingly to go to school. He doesn't like to go to school. He cries to go to school. The next stage is a stage of a lover. After the schooling is over, he looks for his partner. And then the lover, sighing like a furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. The third stage brings before us the lover who sings woeful ballad for his beloved. In the youthful age, when man is full of energy and might, he may do everything to please his beloved. Even the shift of his life, filled with merrymaking and joyous songs, passes so quickly as well. So, all he has, he looks for his lover and tries to impress her. The next stage is a stage of a soldier. Full of strange oaths and bearded like a pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. The next stage is the stage of a soldier. The fourth stage arrives swiftly. Here, man seeks fame, though it is temporary and short lived. He endangers his life for it, but is this nothing more than a bubble reputation. So, he is ready to protect his family like a leopard, pard, bearded like a pard. He is protective for his family. He is ready to take any fight to protect his family. He is ready to even face the danger, even in the cannon's mouth. He is ready to face the danger even in the cannon's mouth. The next stage is the stage of a justice. In fair round belly with good cape and line. He has a fair round belly here and has good cape and line. Good cape and line here means once a man crosses his 30s or 40s, he is now no more into looking at his body. He is all free, he eats whatever he wants, he is not more into fitness, so he keeps on eating and therefore he has a round belly. His eyes looks very serious and he has a beard of formal cut. He is full of wise songs and instances. He has a lot of advices to give to the young generation and he is full of experience. He is ready to share his experience with the young generation. And so he plays his part of sharing good experience or giving advices to the young generation. Then comes the sixth stage. The sixth age shifts into lean and slippered pantaloon with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful hose well saved the world too wide for his shrunk shank and his big manly voice, turning again towards childish treble pipes and whistles in his sound. In this stage, he becomes very weak. He becomes little tired. He looks tired. He keeps pouch with him. He wears warm hoses. His shank has shrunk. His big manly voice is turning again towards childish treble. His voice is not clear due to loss of teeth, and so when he tries to speak, he whistles. Here, he wears slippers and loose pantaloons. He has a spectacle on his nose and pouch besides him, so that he keeps all the necessary things in his pouch. Sitting in a chair, he remembers his young days, how strong and mighty he was, and now how weak he has become. His body has shrunk. Once he had manly voice people fell for, but today when he tries to speak, he whistles in his sound. And then comes the last stage, the last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion, sand teeth, sand eye, sand taste, and sand everything. In this last stage, the condition of the man becomes very miserable. Now he has grown very old and weak. He has no relations, he has lost all. He is sand teeth, sand eye, sand taste, and sand everything. He has lost all his relations. At this stage, man feels that life is nothing except sheer loss for man. Though he may boast of the success and achievements he got in his past life, here Shakespeare wishes to make us realize that the short life we spend in this world is not worth it if we have close observation of it. Life is nothing more than a shadow. So spend it bravely and eagerly. Be not a passerby. I hope you understood the poem.